Good evening. Welcome to the Farron Dozier Show on KCAA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also streaming from the KCAA Radio.com website and MBRradio.us. We got to bless the show before we get started. Let's go. When I was in my mother's womb, I had a calling on my life to do something in the glory of God and marry it like a wife. Commit myself to his word and never be led astray. And when it's all over, when he comes, I'll be glad to see that day in the morning time. All right, good evening. Welcome to the Farron Dozier Show on KCAA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also, stream from the KCAA Radio.com website. The station leaves no listener behind. Also, we got an app, too, so make sure you go download the app, whatever operating system you use, Android, Apple, iOS, whatever that is. Go there, and you can download the app and catch us wherever you are on the map. Or go to kcaradio.com and click Listen Live or Watch Live, and you can catch us in the studio tonight. We're live here. Again, thank you for listening in. We have a very important show for you, as always. And as you know, I don't do this by myself, so we got in the building tonight, almost on a rare occasion. This is... How many times you been back?
Oh, you being,
I'm counting.
Being funny right
I'm
now?
counting. Yeah, I'm counting. I'm counting.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm counting.
He's being silly tonight, folks. But you know who it is. It's your boy Robert Lamar. And yeah, I'm sorry that I haven't been able to be here as much as I wanted to, I'm getting my butt up in here.
I'm sorry. You're sorry. Did you apologize? Is that an apology? I accept.
I did.
I
you accept it?
I accept it. I'll leave you alone.
I'm trying to be. Hey, let me ask you a question.
What?
You've ever that thing I sent you about your message in church today?
Yeah.
Did you say it?
What?
You remember what I sent you earlier about, like, you were talking about how you were getting your message together for church earlier?
Uh-huh.
Do you remember what the video I sent you?
Yeah, I remember that.
Did you say it?
Say what?
What was in the video?
No.
Why not?
Because that wasn't my message.
It was a great message.
I had already had a message already set up.
Oh, okay. Well, you need to work on that.
I don't need that one.
Hey, when you do that, please record it. It will go viral. I swear to you it will. I swear to you.
Nah. Also tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest in studio tonight. Please introduce yourself to the listeners.
Hello, my name is Damaris Carranza. I am a two-term veteran, Army and Marine Corps.
Cool. Thank you for hanging out tonight.
Yeah,
accepting my invitation.
You being here.
Thank
be
you.
in the middle of this knucklehead. But
hey, we got a conversation to have.
Let's get into it.
Before we get into our public service announcement, I want to make an announcement. April 17th at 6 p.m., I'm doing a Shattered Thoughts conversation dedicated to veterans and their families. I was asked to do this talk around transition and change for our veterans, and you could probably relate to that as a veteran. I know for me, when I was married, when it's time for me to go somewhere, I kind of disconnected from my family emotionally.
Definitely, it just makes it easier.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I didn't notice that. But then after I got throughout my journey of healing and stuff, I recognized that was something. So, and then a lot of stuff that I healed from my childhood going back, a lot of it for me was a lot of transition and change, thinking I was abandoned by my mom and things like that when I wasn't. So I was asked to do a talk about that. So that is going to be virtually. You can go to farrond.com and just click on there, register. It's private. It's a password, so it's not going to be streaming online or nothing. I wanted people to be comfortable and open to share. I've done this already once before this year, and so this is one I'm doing virtually because the first one was in Paris, and so it's kind of for that area down there. Mm-hmm. But I wanted more people to be able to have an opportunity to go in online and do it virtually. So we're going to try it virtually. So right now I think we got about 17 spots already taken. So there's a few.
A monthly subscription.
No, man. Why?
17 is a lot.
17 people?
Yeah.
It should be a monthly
No.
And
Let me demonstrate it first.
Since it's private, we can really up the ante.
Let me demonstrate and see if it works first.
He's always
before I
talking
put it.
that type of
Because
stuff.
why do you have to charge anybody?
I'm always trying to make sure that. Oh, see, that's even better. Y'all couldn't even hear
His
me.
mic wasn't even
That is
on the whole
crazy.
time.
Why you do that, man? It was
Look,
good.
because he knows what it is. And just like I said, it should be a monthly subscription because it's
free.
private, right?
It's a free talk, though.
That's a lot of people. It's a lot of
a free
information, a
talk.
lot of valuable information.
I
first and
know.
foremost.
God has blessed me to deliver those messages.
Exactly. So
I'm,
now we should be able to monetize it.
No,
and
He's
then
already
be able to
blessing
get-
me with
be
the
able
money,
to get it
bro. I
private
don't need
to the
that.
point where when we can go a little bit deeper, we can go deeper outside.
This is a family show.
Dude, I'm talking family show type stuff. See, you always going over there
Let's
with me,
play
man.
our PSA. This is brought to you by
I'm getting tired
Comigo.
of this dude, man.
Farron.com for more information. Comigo, this is our sponsor, dedicated to veterans, of course, but however, we all deal with some type of anxiety and stress, and for some of us, it might just take us to calm our breathing, take some deep breaths. So this is our sponsor, Comigo. Check it out.
Some of us still carry the burden of battle. It threatens to drown us in our everyday lives. In battle, we had our weapons and combat gear to keep us safe, to keep us confident. But when we returned home, we were not armed with weapons and gear to cope with our own minds. I was lucky to find my combat gear, my mental weapon, and it's called Comigo. Comigo is a drug-free device that allows you to achieve calm in less than 3 minutes. In moments of anxiety, stress, anger, panic, or insomnia, not with medication, but rather by activating the parasympathetic nervous system through breathing regulation and multisensory stimulation. A recent study has shown that Comigo decreases PTSD and anxiety levels in veterans, helping those who are suffering and having a long-lasting effect. Visit Comigo.com to learn how you can get Comigo through the VA or with a special veterans discount code.
So, about my talk this morning, actually, it was Youth Sunday at the church.
Oh, they really could have used that one, man.
Not that one. But it was important. I mean, this one was more dedicated to the parents.
Yeah.
Because I wanted parents to realize that don't forget that you was a child too, right?
That part.
So the song that I want to play right here, is it even playing? This one kind of reminded me of my pops, called Cracks in the Cradle. But a lot of times as parents, we don't realize that sometimes we put our concerns and our worries on our children. That's not that child's concerns or worries. And what that creates is it creates rebellion because we're not listening to the child. So I wanted to remind parents that don't forget you was somebody's child and how you behaved when you was growing up. And so I wanted to make that connection and also talk about what God provides from shame, disappointment, and embarrassment.
And that was for Sunday school or for actual?
No, that was actually
service?
the morning. That was morning service.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that family dynamic is important to me. The parent to child, the child to parent conversation is very important. So that was that this morning. But tonight, this episode right here is more of our rhabdomyolysis conversation because it is Rhabdomyolysis Awareness Month. And I partnered with the Rhabdo Foundation. Of course, I experienced rhabdo myself in the military. And so I was looking for people to interview to share their story. And she accepted my message on Facebook. We had some messages back and forth, and here she is in person. So again, please reintroduce yourself to us.
Yeah, so my name is Damaris Carranza. I am a retired veteran. I served in the Marine Corps for 4 years and then in the Army for another 4 years until I was medically retired.
So what was going on with you before the Marines? Like, what had you even look at the Marine Corps?
I joined straight out of high school.
Yeah?
I always wanted to be a Marine, and then I was like, well, it's the hardest branch. I just want to do the hardest thing, like, be a badass. So I joined the Marine Corps in 2015, straight out of high school.
Right out of high school?
Yeah.
I waited 1 year before
you enlisted?
I went enlisted, yeah.
That's cool, too.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of, like, life experience.
Yeah,
Not
just a
too
little
much,
bit. Yeah, just a little bit. You play any sports? High school? Growing
No.
up? No sports
No
at all?
sports at all.
ROTC?
Nothing.
Oh, she was just a,
No, so I went to a private Christian school up
Oh.
until my sophomore year, and then my junior and senior year, I went to military school.
oh, wow.
No kidding.
Yeah, Marine Corps based. That's what kind of influenced it as
Oh,
well.
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
She's a real gangster.
For real. From a Christian school to the Marine.
Yeah.
Like, nah, I'm gonna
Marine
knock people's
school?
heads off.
Yeah.
So that transition into the Marine Corps was natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yes and no, because
Yeah.
I was like the first one in my family. So that was pretty hard. But yeah, you know, I kind of had a little bit of knowledge of what the Marine Corps was going to be like.
Yeah, for sure. And then what was the transition to the Army?
So I got out in 2019 from the Marine Corps, and then I kind of just missed it.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of friends telling me, you should wait about a year because you're going to have those thoughts of like, I want to jump back in.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'll be good. And then one day I was just like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to join. I was actually going to join the Air Force.
Yeah.
And then,
The easy one.
yeah. And they were like, well, we don't really take prior service. So I walked into the Army office, and of course, they were like,
well, of course.
yeah, we'll take you.
Of
Yeah, the
course.
Army will take everybody.
Everybody.
Nobody like the Army.
Naughty
like
dotty
that.
everybody.
Yeah,
The Marines is better.
right. No. They're both
So
cool.
most of the time I ask this question to another veteran, it's like the number one answer. What did you miss the most from that military experience?
The friends, really,
Yeah.
because it sucked.
Yeah.
But
The
having
camaraderie.
good people,
Yeah, the
having good people
camaraderie.
to like go through those tough times,
Yeah.
that's really what it was and what made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I think that's what I still miss today. I've been retired almost 11, 12 years, and I still miss that camaraderie. That's
Yeah.
why I do the military talk show. Keeps me connected to veterans, obviously.
Right.
So let's get into the Rhabdo segment real quick. So what was going on up until that point of the Rhabdo with life, and what was going on?
So this was in 2018. So halfway through my Marine Corps enlistment, I had just volunteered for a deployment, and then I was 6 months out from that deployment. And that weekend before I got Rhabdo, I was gonna go on ship to do my first workup for deployment.
Oh, wow.
And I was working really hard in the gym, and then I had a PT test, and then like 2 Marines failed, and you know how the military
Oh, yeah,
is.
yeah,
Somebody
yeah.
fails, you guys got to redo it.
Yeah.
So next day we went in and did the PT test again, and I had already ran one previously, and then I had hit leg day.
Oh.
And so my muscles weren't really, So I didn't even know what rhabdo was.
Right.
But yeah, that happened. And then, I don't know, the experience was like really crazy.
Yeah.
Woke up one morning and I went to go to the bathroom. And as I was getting off the bed, I just collapsed.
Oh, wow. So you
My-
had the muscle fatigue.
Yeah.
everything.
And it was mainly my legs.
Yeah.
And it was so weird because I couldn't feel them. They felt like jello, but at the same time, like they felt heavy.
Yeah.
So
Because they
yeah.
swell up with the fluid because the kidneys can't filter all the toxins.
Wow.
And so the body starts to retain all the water. And
Right.
so you said you had no idea about rhabdo before that experience. I had never heard about it, talked about it
No.
anywhere.
I mean, I had heard about stuff happening like that, but I didn't know what it was called. I didn't know how you even got it. And then showed up to the hospital and they were like, "It looks like you just ran a marathon."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What?" They're like, "What have you been doing?" I was like, "Just working out." I ran a PT test and like my legs, like they just feel weird, and they brought a wheelchair, hooked me up, and they're like, "Yeah, you got to stay here for a few days."
Yeah.
And that was my first time that I got rhabdo because I've had it twice.
You had it twice.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's finish the first time. So they take you in. How many days you end up being in the hospital during that first episode?
5 days.
5 days.
5 days, yeah.
Do you remember what your CK levels were? Were they?
Oh God, I don't know. I was actually trying to find that
You trying to
I'm
find
like,
them?
yeah. They were like, yeah, it's like really, really high. This is one of the highest that we've seen.
Really? So
And they're like, and you're so young.
oh,
I was 21. I just turned 21.
yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we don't see this often, but like, you're one of the highest ones we've had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine was 12,000. I met people from 12,000 up to hundreds of thousands. So fatal is around is more dangerous is around 45, 50,000, 60 up at those digits. During that time in the hospital, what were you thinking?
Honestly, I was just worried about not making deployment because I still
really?
had that mentality, like, you know, in the military, like you get injured and it's like, hurry up and get better or you're not going to make it. Or, you know, we can easily just find you to swap you out. Right?
Exactly,
you know?
exactly.
So I was just worried about that. I didn't even really think it was a big deal until a few months later. I was trying to re-enlist and a doctor spoke to me about it and said, hey, do you know this is actually like you can get kicked out for this? And I was like, really? I didn't know that. And she was like, yeah, it's actually a big deal among service members.
Really?
And then I was like, well, I'm actually trying to re-enlist. And she was like, well, if you promise me that you won't ever push yourself that hard, you know, I could just sign off on your re-enlistment package. So she did that. And then that's how I ended up continuing to serve.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Your recovery process from that episode? Take you a while to...
I don't think it did, but I always jumped into things so quickly. Like I've had a lot of injuries, medical issues, and I always try to get better so quick. Especially that time because I was going on deployment. Right. So also when I was in the hospital, I found out I tore my meniscus. So that might have been part of the issue of why, you know, my levels were so high because I didn't know that I was injured and I was still working on a torn meniscus.
That's that Marine mentality?
Yeah. Yeah. I was just super prideful too. Like, you know, I don't want to be the one, especially as a female, you know. I volunteered for this deployment. I'm going to make the deployment. Right. So in those 6 months, I just took it easy. Like, I didn't do much. I was just like, if I can just make it to deployment, maybe when I get on ship, then I can start working out. And I was like, let me just take it slow. I did a little bit of physical therapy, and that's about it. And I kind of forgot about it after that.
How could you forget about an episode like that?
Because I didn't think it was a big deal. And because I had been, I guess, let off, because the doctor was just like, I'm going to just sign it off. I was like, okay, I'm good. Like, as long as I don't push myself, I'll be okay. Yeah.
And
then when I least suspected it, I was in the Army, and then I got it again. And
same type of reasoning or something different?
Yeah, no, I mean, at this point I had already had a knee surgery, which it took me like 3 years to finally actually get the surgery.
What?
And this was already so what's crazy is when I went into the recruiting office, I actually told them that I had rhabdo before. Okay. And that I had been, like, it had been mentioned that I couldn't be in the service with it. So I was like, what's going to happen? And they were like, well, lucky for you, your medical records are sealed. So nobody's going to know about this. And I was like, okay, cool. And they're like, as long as, you don't do it again, like, you'll be fine. And then last year in April, actually this week last year, I was in the hospital.
No kidding.
For the second time because of rhabdo.
No kidding.
And I hadn't worked out, prior to that incident, I hadn't worked out in about 2 years because I was just taking it slow and I was already knowing that I was going to get out.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, I don't really need to push myself. Right? But I ended up going to the gym. I got a personal trainer and I did tell him that I had it. But this is one of the issues of why I'm here, because people that are in the fitness industry, a lot of people still don't know about it.
Yes.
And it's crazy because it's like you're working with these people and pushing them to, be better and physically, like, and you don't know about this. Like, it's such a basic thing, I feel like. Yeah. But anyway, I told him about it, and he was like, yeah, I'll work with you. And then we got 3 workouts in, and by the 3rd workout, I was in the hospital.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, we have not had this kind of talk, so I have no idea what her story is. Like, this is authentic,
that's wild.
right? And so I really appreciate you for coming to share your story, because that is one community of people that we have to get them educated or have some kind of awareness. Those trainers, especially those 24-hour fitness and those CrossFit trainers and all those guys that are trying to, like you said, everybody's trying to get fit today.
Talk about the fake trainers.
Fit influencers.
Yeah.
Yep.
That type, right?
Yeah.
So thank you for saying that, because that is so important for people to understand. When you've made that choice or decision to go work out, you've got to be able to ask some questions, and there's some things that the trainers should be able to have. I don't want to say a common conversation, but it should be known as a trainer that these are things that are can happen to people working out. And
no hate to him, because he was great.
Well, yeah, for sure.
You know, I've actually, since having that, I've been trying to find a trainer. And up until this point, I just got a trainer like a week ago, because everyone that I had asked up until this point was like, I don't know what that is, or I've never dealt with it. Like, I've never had a client that has had it.
Wow.
And so I'm like, well, what do I do? I'm not going to just jump into working out, because it's already happened twice. I don't want it to happen again. So.
For sure. I appreciate that. Today, how are you today with the rhabdo?
I feel like I feel the effects still.
Yeah.
Especially on my left leg. And in the mornings, like, my muscles cramp up so bad, but it's not like regular muscle cramping, like when you go to the gym and you're sore, you know.
You know, there's a lot of things that can cause rhabdo. Mine was triggered by my sickle cell trait, so we know that there's our inherited genes that can cause it. Even currently today, I have a nurse that's going to come on in the next couple of weeks to talk about children. Even today, there's the influenza flu that's going around because of the high fever from like 104 or more, and the consistency of the fever for the children. They're experiencing rhabdo from that infection and from that virus, which is also a symptom.
Oh, right, because it can be from an infection.
Yeah, from an infection and high temperatures. So, and even I was talking to a guy that studies rhabdo, and I was thinking, because it says like car crashes and collisions, and I was thinking about football, and I'm wondering if that could trigger rhabdo over time by guys running to each other, tackling each other by impact.
It sounds like something we need to look into.
Yeah, so there's different things that can cause it. And then most of the statin drugs, like cholesterol medications and things like that, can cause it as well. So, but I'm glad you know, not knowing, hitting on that point about the trainers, because that is something that, you know, this month we're bringing awareness to different conversations, and those trainers are so important that they need to have that information.
Of course.
Yeah. You know, today with life, you know, there's so much going on. What do you see when you turn the TV on about life today? Like, what's your views?
About anything in general?
Just life, period, yeah.
It's just fucked, man.
Yeah.
This world is messed up.
It's messed up.
Like, it's just a lot to talk about, man.
It's wild, ain't it?
There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Administration, like, I don't know how deep you get, like, yeah.
Yeah,
just crazy.
There's no curse words, but you can say whatever you want.
Wait a minute. Like she can curse. It's okay.
No, you gotta catch it.
No, I just think the administration is just crazy right now. You know, everything they're doing, and it's affecting everyone. Like, I don't think anyone's gonna be untouched by the time this thing's done. Like, I don't know.
It's wild. Do you know anybody who's been affected by this current administration?
It depends on what you're talking about.
Well, because I know people personally who had government jobs that are no longer working.
Okay.
So and they voted for the guy too.
So I've been going to the VA because I got out recently, about 6 months. So 5 months. And I've been going to the VA recently, and the workers there have been telling me about how they've been getting laid off and stuff.
Ooh,
and they're like, you should come work for us, for the VA. I'm like, I heard y'all getting laid off. They're like, we are, but you should still come.
Like, you trying to give me a job that ain't gonna be a job?
No, I was interested in your perspective going to the Christian school right? Does that still play a role in your life, that conversation?
I think in the back of my mind,
It does.
yeah, because that's the way I was raised.
Yeah.
But I believe serving in the military and just serving around so many different diverse people, cultures, you grow out of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, you serve with a lot of different people, a lot of different views, walks of life, colors, races, like, so you can't really, I feel like it's impossible to serve in the military and not outgrow your views, not grow, not, I don't know.
I mean, I can relate to you because, we are trained to objectify other human beings to terrorists and things like that. So I can see how you could say it desensitizes us.
But I also, I can also understand the other part of like feeling some type of like, I don't know, these Trump supporters.
Oh yeah, I mean.
Yeah, so because the way you were raised, like it's really ingrained in you that it takes a lot for you to come out of it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But when you serve in the military, you would expect to have empathy at least for others because you see how others were raised and grew up and how they live and how they're different from you, but they're not all that different from you.
Yeah, our depends on the individual person. The military mindset, even for me, is still challenging to peel off because of the 24 years and just the mindset. And so we were trained that civilians are not going to understand us.
Right.
And so when you have that ingrained with you all those years, it's tough to peel that layer off to really try to connect to somebody who's not served in the service.
Right.
And so truth be told, it gets in between us sometimes because I feel like I don't want to be a leader and things like that, and we have different conversations, and I feel like you should just things should just happen, but that's also something I got to deal with. I don't fault them for that. I know that it's my mindset, and Robert knows we did radio school together, so there's just some things that we learned, and radio's part of that. But for the Trump supporters, for me, as you said, it's the background. The what influences that, right? And like I said, off the air, there are some white people that still don't like each other.
Right.
And we forget about that.
Yeah.
We forget about that. And when we label people with white, so I ask people, what white people are you talking about? Because it's not all of them.
You talk about the liberals or the conservatives or what? Because that's a whole different game.
Well, you talk about the people who are white supremacy, the South.
Yeah.
Those
they don't like the Northerners.
The Jim Crow. I'm saying those that were descendants of the Jim Crow era, like those people are still around.
Yeah.
So, to me, what white person are you talking about? Because the Polish, the Jews, the Italians, some of them didn't get along back in the day. Yeah. And they were just as excluded as we were as blacks.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that's the part for me that gets in the way of when we're trying to, the labeling. Like I said, I can label you as a terrorist and kill you and not think two things about it. Yeah. So imagine if you grew up in an environment and you have this particular view about blacks or Asians or Mexicans and that gets passed on to you through your family conversation. That's a strong conversation to break.
Yeah.
So what he's really trying to say is he's a real killer.
That's not what I said. That is not what I said.
I love.
What was your job in the military?
That's not what I said. I'm saying if you understand how powerful the brain is, you can train. The brain can be trained so tough that you can block out the human connection because of how I label you. Yeah. Like she wears glasses. We had a whole conversation about the world about people who wear glasses that we can talk about people with glasses.
And that still doesn't take away from your verified kills.
That's not about kills. It's not about that. Let's take a break so we can bring Coach to the deck, please. This is the Farron Dozier Show. Thank you for sharing your story with us. You are more than welcome to hang out on the deck with us. But we're going to take this public service announcement. This is the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Shout us out, Worcester County.
Some of us still carry the burden of battle. It threatens to drown us in our everyday lives. In battle, we had our weapons and combat gear to keep us safe, to keep us confident. But when we returned home, we were not armed with weapons and gear to cope with our own minds. I was lucky to find my combat gear, my mental weapon, and it's called Calmago. Calmago is a drug-free device that allows you to achieve calm in less than 3 minutes in moments of anxiety, stress, anger, panic, or insomnia, not with medication, but rather by activating the parasympathetic nervous system through breathing regulation and multisensory stimulation. A recent study has shown that Calmago decreases PTSD and anxiety levels in veterans, helping those who are suffering and having a long-lasting effect. Visit Calmago.com to learn how you can get Calmago through the VA or with a special veterans discount code.
All right, let me see.
Yeah, we trying to get the deck back to what it was.
Yeah.
It's like, man.
Are we there?
Yeah, sure.
Are we there yet?
That is a real versatile individual, man. I tell you, when you could go to the military
Turn me up.
and you can cut on that
that's me.
switch.
That's you over there. Turn me up. Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Look, what? We're back. Yeah. So, man, that was exciting.
Yeah,
you know
it
what I
was.
mean? And I think that, he was taking the conversation to a pretty, strong space.
Yeah.
That's a strong space. But it's a good night, man. Good night. Well, but I would like to touch on a little bit before we get into break. We were talking a little bit today about where this NIL thing is kind of taking people,
Man,
right?
it's really nutty, man.
And I just feel like I hope they put a really good team around these young men and young women because, rest in peace to the LSU player. We're seeing a little bit more of these things happening. So I just want to make sure that the kids aren't being targeted, like we talked about earlier, going out to the nightclubs in the big city, you're exposed to a lot, and going out to the nightclubs in the small city, you are
You the man.
you are, the extra that they get. So it's important that people are educating these people, these young men, young women, these young student athletes, I'll say, protecting them, not just physically, but, mentally by educating them on just how to move a little bit. It's important to understand that, you want to celebrate your victory by getting an NIL deal, going to college, and having a certain amount of money to help your family and to change some things, but you really want to take this opportunity to, watch early in the phase of all this to educate these young student athletes to protect them, because we're seeing it early in the NFL, right? Guys get the contract early and then all of a sudden they're getting DUIs because they were going 90 or 85 in a small city, and,
Some Georgia Bulldog players.
yeah, it just happens, right? And so I think that it's important that we highlight that, importance to protect those student athletes and those young men and women as they're getting these hundred thousands and millions to keep them safe.
So what's actually $1 million question? Are these deals that you see, are they real deals? Or are they what we like to call fake offers? And the reason why I asked that question is because we got a local kid from Long Beach, Nico, dipping from Tennessee. You remember how groundbreaking that deal was, right? When he signed.
Yeah.
So I believe, 11 million or something over 4 years, something like that, give or take.
Like, it was a couple.
It was up
It
there.
was a couple mil.
So
It was like he got the Dr. Pepper deal and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
He did, you know what I mean? So a lot, yeah.
but he's renegotiating because the 2.5 that he agreed upon, the price just went up.
Yeah.
And then the program said, well, good luck to you, sir. So is this a year-by-year thing? Because it seems like what they advertise when they put the numbers out, that's the potential of it. but it's not the actual number.
Well, just like any contract, right now, NBA, NFL, when a player signs a contract, what's one of the biggest things you hear nowadays that you didn't really hear a lot before?
Guarantee,
right? Guarantee. That's where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, he may have signed a deal for $2 million, right? So let's say Nico's early deal or whomever, right? Let's not even
annually.
Let's not even say him, for example. Let's say Johnny Blue. Johnny Blue's deal was $2 million, right? That $2 million was for the 4 years.
Yeah.
So that means you're only getting $500,000 a year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
A year.
Right.
Now you're in a situation where guys are getting that a whole, they're getting $1 million a year, or like, these other guys that went and signed bigger deals, $10 million contracts, $8 million contracts. And because he was at the early phase of this, right? Mm-hmm. Johnny Blue's at the early phase of this. So he negotiated what was at the highest point at the time.
At the time, right.
So are you really mad at Johnny Blue for saying, hey, my value has trump carded that, or my value will trump card that. So can we renegotiate? Now, we don't know the ins and outs, the small details.
Right, that part.
To say how that went. But what I will say is Johnny Blue's not wrong for seeing his value. Will LeBron James go play?
Yeah,
or
but that's
would LeBron
different.
James renegotiate?
But that's different because it's...
Okay, I'll take it down a level. Let's not say LeBron James. Let's say Bradley Beal or Devin Booker.
Bradley Beal was a monster, and Devin Booker was too.
Would they play for undervalue?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so.
Absolutely not.
But I'm looking at what you said as far as taking the chance to say, let me renegotiate my deal, and then the school saying, well, you know what? Good luck. Now you just messed up your whole get down.
Did you?
Yeah. That's
the risk.
Well, it's a risk, but let's just be transparent about that. That's a risk that they were willing to take the moment they started to renegotiate because they knew what market was out there. You do not renegotiate without understanding your market. So when they basically came to Tennessee, they knew that there was a high probability that they probably would have said no. But they also know if they say no, there's going to be a few people that's going to say yes. So they're not caught with their pants down. Like, he has his value sold up.
Right.
But the coldest part about that is that was 2 years ago. That was only 2 years ago.
Yeah, NIL's changed.
And be mindful. Correct. It's grown.
It's grown.
Right? An immediate
because of collectives.
Shot.
Because collectives.
Now, let's be clear. He has a phenomenal team around him. They're not moving.
They went to the playoffs.
Uneducated. What I mean is his team, Nico's team, not
you talk about Big
Tennessee,
Nick?
But Nico's team.
The team around him.
They're not moving.
They're Team Toa, man.
They're not moving.
Team Toa
without at least
business.
Understanding, right? I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like he would not have opened up that negotiation without understanding that what his value was
from the beginning.
Yeah.
That's my point. That's the only reason I brought it up about his team.
Yeah,
I get that.
Clearly, they understand something from the beginning.
Yeah.
Hey, let's go back before high school. Clearly, he reclassed and did all the right things, and he went through the process. Do we got to go back? Let's take it back, right? No, because this is our conversations, and these are the results of what we're talking about,
right?
We have middle school athletes, and then we have athletes who came on who were college athletes. We have it all. So to see him, we haven't had Nico on the show, but to see him where he's at, I do know him personally. Mm-hmm. His brother, I know these guys.
His son was competing against him.
Right.
I was there.
Right. So when we see him at this phase of it, it's kind of cool to see what the results are of these things, right? What are the long-term results and what are the short-term results? And he's on full display of what your plan can be. This plan wasn't just created when he went to Warren or when he went to Tennessee. This is something that's well thought out, well planned out.
But there is a risk.
And there's always going to be a risk. There was a risk him going to Tennessee and not SC. He's a West Coast kid, top quarterback.
Long Beach, California.
He could have went right around the corner, but
they weren't going to pay like that at USC though.
He bet on himself, and that was big because he played early. He played right out of high school. You know, while technically still in high school.
He was a freshman because he was that bowl game, right?
He played in the bowl game as a senior. Still in high school, pretty much.
Yeah.
Are we expecting guests still?
Yeah, and so
check the Zoom.
I thought that was great.
So, just to kind of wrap this up, just like you say, small town guy, you know, being targeted, we could do this, that, leave your school, leave your academic standing, we can get you something else here. How do we avoid that guy to the point where we protect that student who should not leave? Who should not leave.
Right.
But he is being told by so-and-so, what you doing here, man? You could be playing more, you get more money.
Right.
How do we protect that kid from that guy?
That's a good question. You know, I mean,
because that's a hell of a problem that we do not got an answer to at this point.
Well, no, because when you look at that person, because I'm not gonna be the one, you know, the knight in shining armor here. I'm gonna just be the balance.
Yeah.
That individual is not coming from a place of malice. They're looking at a kid or a young man and saying, well, look, you're not playing here, just like in high school, but we see you getting major opportunity over there because not only do they need you, they want you.
Yeah.
And not only do they want you, but they need you. And I'm going to just keep it that simple. So do you sit back and watch this man struggle when you know you can teach him how to fish for himself?
Yeah, I feel you. Yeah, absolutely not. Like you gotta. Some people gotta intervene.
But you were pointing at the malice behind it, though, right?
There is malice. I'm saying there is malice behind it, behind some people.
Some people. That's what I'm saying.
But there's a lot of people that do help. But there seems like at this point, where in regards to the business, people don't separate the malice and the help. It's all the same to a lot of people these days, even though there actually are big differences between the people.
The parents are guarded.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So the malice, though, we say malice, place of malice, but I think it's the financial side of it that makes it look sharp.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And you name a field of business, sales, marketing, or entertainment that doesn't have
that
directors, handlers, you know, people that go take care of, you know, the meetings to close the deals.
Right.
That's a consistent thing.
Right.
And this business is no different.
Yeah.
You know, but we definitely got the young ladies and Wade coming on tonight for a brief minute. What we got left, we definitely want to touch back in with Coach as she had an opportunity to come on Zoom.
No.
You know what I mean? So that way she can talk to us a little bit about how the season is starting to progress. And
looks good,
you know,
so far.
See how things are, you know. So she, you know, as soon as we can get her on live on the Zoom, she's waiting for us. Yeah.
Oh, there. Okay, who you got? Let's go. This is the Farron Dozier Show, Sports Collective TV, media and radio at Instagram. Make sure you check us out over there. Oh, there, everybody's here.
Yes, sir.
Sports Collective TV, media, radio, the Farron Dozier Show, Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Heme Factor, In the Zone. Check out the Scotty Me shirt. All of that. Hey!
Boom, boom, boom.
What's up, baller? We see you.
You're on mute. I think you're on mute.
Hi, guys. How you guys
unmute her.
How you doing?
About to say.
I'm well. Very well, actually. Very well. Season is taking an upturn, so things are starting to get rolling. So we're excited.
Oh, okay. So, what are you guys on game 2 or game 3?
Joe.
We just finished game 3.
Game 3. Right.
We're currently 2-1.
Okay.
And we just played the LA Legends yesterday.
That was yesterday. I missed it. I missed it. I'm trying to keep up with the schedule. Oh man! So how was that? I mean, you know, I have seen some highlights, and you know, give us an update. Like, what the stats looking like?
I'm playing both sides of the ball. Get in at quarterback a little bit. I threw my first touchdown pass yesterday last night to one of our rookies on the team, and actually this is her second year on the team.
Okay.
And it was her birthday, so it was a good birthday present for her, and it was a good start for me.
Definitely.
I know you felt that. So, like, that's the first one of the season, right?
Yes.
Hey,
well, it's the first one for me for the season.
Right. So, I mean, it's up at this point, right?
I mean, I hope to keep it rolling,
No, but like, tell me what was going through, like, the process of like that play developing. Like, how did that come about?
Well, coach came over and told me, she was like, "Well, we're gonna air it out. You ready?" And I was like, "I'm ready." She was like, "All right." She gave me the play, and I did my pre-check reads, and I knew from the beginning where I was gonna go. And I took my drops and I was able to deliver it. It was a little bit behind her for my likes, but it got to her. She got it, and she dragged some people into the end zone.
Sounds like we might have some chemistry building up, though. That might be your 1-2 punch right there.
Right. You know what? It's definitely one of my go-tos for sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now they usually more wildcat style. They have me throw some out routes, some fades. What are we doing?
So that was actually a post.
Okay.
I've only been in a little bit at quarterback, so that was my second throw. The first one was a go that I underthrew, but yeah, right now we going for it. It's no short stuff.
Right.
We're airing it out a little bit and let them know that I can throw the ball and not just run it.
Big deal. Now, do you guys play this team from San Diego?
No. So this year we're not playing them.
Okay.
We may possibly meet them in the playoffs.
Okay.
But during regular season we don't play them. The regular season, we so far we played Kansas City. That was our loss. That was our first game. We weren't expected to lose to them, but things happened. We came back strong, played Seattle, shut them out, and then just shut out LA. And now we have a bye next week, and then we have a bye next week, and then the week after that we play the reigning champions, the Mississippi Panthers. That's going to be a huge game.
Yeah, it's going to be a physical one, as you know. You know how they play.
Yeah.
So going into that game week, I mean, that's a big one. They didn't fall off that much, for what we understand. It's like what
they didn't fall off at all. They actually gained some players. They gained a few of our players as well. So
that's my point.
There's a little,
so knowing that
something behind it. So on paper, it looks really, really good. But we look to go and disrupt some of that they have going on.
So I'm not trying to hate on. I'm not trying to have you reveal the game plan and all. But what do you think it is that you guys need to work on to be able to kind of one up them coming up with that game?
The run for sure, and then they have a quarterback that will air it out on us, and they have some good receivers as well. So we're looking to contain the run first, and make sure our DBs are on lockdown mode.
Definitely get that cover 3 and
that
cover 4 together. Get that cover 3 and cover 4 together. Y'all be all right. That's awesome. That's real awesome, FD.
Yeah. Before we let you go, how are you managing the coaching and the playing? Are you doing both, or do you let the other one go?
I am doing a little bit of both. I did step back a little bit from the coaching aspect side, just a little bit. I still am a coach on the team, but I don't have as much responsibility just because I am playing 5 different positions. So it takes a lot of time.
How did your players, how did they take that transition for you?
Oh, it was good. Like I played with a lot of them before, so they were very happy to see me come back. That's a very good feeling, to have everybody excited that you decided to come back and not just coaching this year. So they respect what I have to say as a coach, and so that's maintained. And then they respect me as a player as well. And our team chemistry is doing nothing but building. We have a lot of rookies this year, like I told you before, and they're doing great. Like there's been some very great additions to the team.
All right. We appreciate you for hanging out tonight with us. Definitely good.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. You guys are going to have to have me back after the Mississippi game.
Oh, yeah, of course.
We need the
exclusive.
Preview. Yeah,
you come up.
it.
You got to come at the beginning of that show early. Get that out.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, we got to get you in here on the deck one night.
Yeah,
man.
live and in color.
I would love that. I would love to swing through.
We need to start putting some cash on these games too.
Thank you.
Get them on Prize Picks.
For real, on me, man.
All right, we got.
Appreciate you. Thank you
so much, Coach.
All right, Joe, you can bring up the next
guys.
guest. Thank you so
much.
Have
a good night.
And then we got Big Dre on the line too, so we got a couple more things to knock out.
Keep him going.
What's happening? Can you hear us? Wade.
Hello?
Yeah, there you go. Can you hear us?
Hello?
How you doing?
Good. How about you?
All right, we good, man. We good. Thanks for hanging out with us again. Part 2.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I appreciate him coming because don't it look like he just beat up somebody and told somebody to stop crying? I got an interview to do right now. I like that, man. I love the look, man. What's going on with you, Big Wade?
Nothing much, just working hard, trying to get my grades up and everything,
Yes, sir.
Staying strong.
How you eating good, man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am.
That's the most important thing.
I'm down 50 pounds, around 54, I think it is. 54 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Since our last meeting.
Since our last talk?
Yeah.
Dang, you grinding, bro.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah, man. So, Wade, give us a little bit, more about your journey, and what it right now, with things going as great as they've been going for your transition, what are some of your short-term goals? What do you have, for this the rest of this off season into season? What are your short-term goals?
My short-term goals in off season into regular season is to just meet my weight goal that I set for myself about a month ago, which I'm working really hard to get down to. As you heard just a minute ago, I said I'm down 54 pounds. I'm trying to get down to around 370, 365. So I'm trying to get down to there and then have my grades up to about a 3.0.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Striving for about a 3.0.
Yeah. That's good.
How has that transition been for you? From down there to up there. How's that
At first, it was a little confusing and a little bit of a struggle at first. But once we got into the house and once I started working out and we got everything going, it's amazing. I'm not gonna lie, it's the best thing that could have happened to me.
Does that football identity help ease into the school a little bit easier than being just a new kid on the block?
Yeah, it did. Because all of my teammates were there to help me fit in at the school and everything. So they were introducing me to all of their friends. And I'm a great guy. I'm very friendly. I'm great at making friends. So, anywhere I go, I'll try my best to fit in. And if you don't like me, then it is what it is. I'll go to somebody else.
That's far and in between. Not many people not like Wade, right?
Yeah. It sounds like you are ahead of the schedule for the goals that you have set for yourself. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's not easy being you.
No, sir.
You're the biggest dude, so everybody see you. You're in a new place. Mentally, you're setting goals for yourself, and you're achieving those goals. But
yes, sir.
End of the day, that's the work. But when nobody's around, when you have to kind of process everything, how are you dissecting and digesting everything from just trying to make everything happen for you to make sure that you're cool and for you to just stay focused?
It's a grind. What I'm doing, it's really not easy. I work out 2 to 3 times a day, and what I do to really keep myself going is I'll try to find time throughout the day to meditate or cool down, just listen to some music and just try to calm my mind down and just clear my mind out. And then after that, I go and I live my day, do my workouts, do everything I need to, go home, do my homework, and then do the same thing the next day.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's big.
Man, we definitely appreciate you, man. We look forward to, again, having you back, man, just to catch up on your
Yes, sir.
status and where you are, how life is treating you up there. And, again, thank you for your time tonight, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Appreciate you, Wade.
All right.
All right.
So
Thank you guys for having me.
thank you. Can we grab Big Dre real quick? Big Dre, how you doing, man?
Man, what's up, man? Hey, you got 2 minutes.
We got, yeah.
The fight last night.
What you got for us?
Emil Amante fought against Anius Boots last night. I was watching the fight right now. Boots beat the brakes off him.
He fit the brakes?
He didn't want to come
off
out.
The brakes, the colors, the trunk colors, the corner colors. He beat every color off of them last night in Atlantic City on the boardwalk last night.
Don't you like seeing big fights in Atlantic City again?
Man, about time. I mean, last big fight I was at with James Toney. I seen Rockman. I was there ringside.
Wow.
Watching James get robbed, you know. And we counted about, me and Sugar Shane counted about 34 illegal hits behind the head.
Wow.
That the referee Neil Cotton didn't look at. But like I say, pounds to canvas to pounds, back to canvas. It's all about the fight game, and the fight game is trying to come back in 2025. We're looking for 25 and 26,
Yeah.
So we're going to rock it. We're going to roll it. And I thank you, brothers, tonight, man. I know it's a quick win, but we got this thing going. Hammer and Nails coming up later this month.
That's right.
The grand opening.
That's right.
And keep on doing what you're doing with the ABA, man, the big things. And don't forget, next year, I'm hosting my own NBA All-Star Weekend. It's here next year. At the Truman Dome.
Hey, I'm gonna include the Sports Collective for the bags to canvas too, man. So they can come out and do some interviews and hang out with us.
Yes, I got an all-star. I got Victor Ortiz yesterday was out there in Lancaster. I got a chance to talk to Victor.
Ooh,
it was great. He's for the kids. I loved it.
All right.
I talked to James Toney in the gym at Sam Washington Gym. So we're doing the thing. Look out for our In-Flight Academy, man, out there in Dayton, Ohio. We just added on 2 more thousand seats.
What? Oh, yeah, we definitely got to talk about that.
We doing it, man. So
all right.
Thank you, brothers.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks for hanging in there, bro. I really appreciate you, man.
Got you, man. God bless you guys.
That's Big Dre, ladies and gentlemen. That's Big Dre. All right, we out of here. Thanks for listening in to the Farron Dozier Show, Sports Collective, TV, Media, Radio, at Sports Collective on Instagram. Shout us out. What's the count?
KCAA. This program sponsored in part by Absolute Custom Painting. Custom painting you can trust. It's time to clean up and spiff up your home and add some curb appeal to your life. Absolute Custom Painting covers the whole Inland Empire with a brighter shade of color. No job is too small, and perfection is their goal. Absolute Custom Paint specializes in affordable residential paint makeovers. For a no-cost estimate and to dream a little, call 951-797-0508. That's 951-797-0508 for Absolute Custom Painting. Ask about their seasonal paint specials where you can save money. They're proud to make our world and communities more bright, colorful, and clean. Absolute Custom Painting with painters you can trust. Licensed, bonded, and insured. California Contractor Number 808931.
In these trying times, many people are depressed and lost because the future of our society is up in the air. If you're turning to substance abuse because you're feeling there is no hope, we have a way for you to see the light. SAD, or Stop Abusing Drugs, is a nonprofit organization that will help you at no cost to you stop abusing drugs. Founded by Tony Navarchi, SAD will refer you to the top detox doctors in your area. SAD will pay every and any cost for you, including doctor visits, counseling, and medications. If you need help, SAD is there for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you or a loved one needs help, or if you have a suggestion or idea for Tony, you can reach out to him by calling 844-493-3386. That's 844-493-3386. Or email Tony at tony@saddetox.com. That's Tony at saddetox.com.
The Village Mud wants to remind pet owners of the importance of spaying and neutering. Shelters overflow with unwanted pets. Spaying and neutering helps prevent this and has many health benefits too. That message courtesy of the Village Mud at 66.5 East Foothill Boulevard in Claremont. For self-serve pet wash tubs and high-end food and treats for dogs and cats, featuring natural and raw. Call the Village Mud 909-624-3020 and like them on Facebook.
For over a century, AM radio has evolved to meet the needs of our community. More than 80 million listeners depend on AM radio each month. It's also the backbone of the emergency alert system, keeping us safe in dangerous times. A new bill in Congress would ensure this free, reliable service remains in cars. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to support the AM Radio for Every Vehicle Act.
Message and data rates may apply. You may receive up to 4 messages a month, and you may text STOP to stop.
This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Located in the heart of San Bernardino, California, the Teamsters Local 1932 Training Center is designed to train workers for high-demand, good-paying jobs in various industries throughout the Inland Empire. If you want a pathway to a high-paying job and the respect that comes with a union contract, visit 1932trainingcenter.org to enroll today. That's 1932trainingcenter.org.
You're on board KCAA's Inland